Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Excited to be here today. Excited for this Momentum episode. It's a little bit earlier. It's Momentum 147. We're starting a new series. That's why I'm joined here by my man, Mark. Mark, say what's up.
Hey, good afternoon, Arizona. What's up? What's up? It's been a long time to be here.
Mark, so it's the first time people seeing you. Like, what is your role in the company?
The first time that people saw me during this, I was like, I think that was inbound caller. That was way back 2000 last year. Then afterwards, the system manager.
Right. So, guys, if it's your first time tuning in, Mark is our systems manager. He started out as a cold caller and quickly realized that he was better fit for the system side of the business. And he does a really, really, really amazing job. He makes sure everything is running. Like, if our business gets deals done, it's because of Mark, for sure. So, Mark, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Guys, I'm actually going to be releasing a video this week on my YouTube channel discussing the blueprint to running a $1 million REI business, everything that you need, the positions, what that flow, that organization chart should look like. But there was places in that video that I was unfortunately unable to really dive into more details, like to say, oh, well, this is how you do the systems and this is how you do the tools. And you should really only need these subscriptions, but then you do this and this and this, and you should be good. I was unable to do that because that video would have probably been an hour and a half. Right. So in efforts to keep that short and sweet, this video, like these live videos this week, are going to be breaking down more of the system side to help you guys get going. What subscription should you actually be paying for? Where should you be spending your time and your money if you're just getting started? Those are precious resources. Okay. And today, in this week, we're going to be breaking down probably the most important part about the whole system. Guys, if you've been watching my channel, I'm just going to go ahead and assume you got virtual assistants. I'm going to assume you're going to hire a virtual assistant, or at least that's the goal. I'm going to assume you've watched some of the batch driven stuff. I'm going to assume you've already seen a good bit. But for a lot of you guys who have not, and this is your first time watching, there's 4 parts to your real estate business. There is lead gen, acquisition, disposition, and admin. Okay, that's your four things. Okay, so if you want an efficient running business, okay, you want to make sure that all those things play and work together. It all starts with lead gen. So lead gen systems, lead gen tools, right? Lead gen processes and software are going to be the most important thing that you can have as you get started. Okay, don't worry about having the perfect CRM quite yet. Don't worry about having, the perfect back-end processes for dealing with dispo, or the perfect sales processes with, the flow from lead managers to acquisitions, all that stuff doesn't matter, because you first need leads to go on your conveyor belt. Okay. You need leads to be flowing into your business, into the top of the funnel, so you can start working them. Okay. So that's the purpose of this week as we go through this Millionaire REI blueprint, is that you guys see the things that you need to have set up. So for us, the most important tool, and for you guys that are watching, I think it's important that we are very wise with the money we spend. When we start outsourcing, we get ourselves a virtual assistant. You can do a bunch of different things, right? You can move, and which will be a smart move at some point, to go online, do PPC, and focus on inbound calls, to send out mailers if that's your thing. But one of the most cost-effective ways to get deals done right now, at this stage in July of 2021, one of the most cost-effective ways to get deals done is by cold calling. Now, a lot of people will throw shade on cold calling. A lot of people will say, no, cold calling doesn't work. I've tried it, costs a bunch of money. There is a lot of reasons why cold calling does not work for many people. So hopefully this week you guys will see the reason why cold calling is our best lead generating source is because we have the systems put in place to make sure that our team is efficient and we're putting them in a position to win. Right, Mark?
Yep, that's correct.
Awesome. So guys, I'm going to show you a brief rundown of what this actually looks like. So for us, Mark, what is the most important part to a dialer?
The most important part in a dialer, Matt, is the phone number that we are using.
Got it. So guys, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to break down what this looks like. let's see. I'm going to show. Let's do this guy right here. You see my screen, Mark?
Yep.
So, guys, this is the actual dialer we used for the Zero to Hero Challenge. You guys see we pulled North Carolina. This is where we were. But the most important thing is you guys can see there's some nuances between our call groups and phone numbers and why do we have the numbers that we have? And that's what we're breaking down today. So, the most important thing for your dialer, again, you need a dialer to cold call. If you're going to have a VA cold call, you need a dialer. You can set up your account to have admin privileges, right, Mark? So when you set up an admin privilege, does that count against your seats?
It should be counted to your seats if you're using batch dialer. Yes.
But not like an
Sometimes.
admin account does not count against your seats, correct?
No, it's not.
Okay. So what I'm saying here is like when you have, if you go through Start Virtual, your CSM who's helping manage your VAs and train them for you, they're going to have an admin account or they can have a supervisor account. Okay. So that way it doesn't count against your seats because typically any dialer that you use, and if you want to use batch dialer, great. If you want to use something else, awesome. Is I just know that we have results with batch dialer and call tool, so that's typically the ones we go to. But ultimately, we need a dialer to cold call, and the only thing I need that dialer to do is to dial multi lines. So one of the greatest bang for our bucks is using batch dialer, and we can dial up to 10 lines. It's $139. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. We have our dialer. In this case, batch dialer, and this is 139 for the multi-line, right? This is big. You're going to want the multi-line. You don't want the single line. Like certainly you could use single line, and I'm sure there's a strategic advantage in some forms of marketing, but for us, we use batch dialer and we use the multi-line. Okay. Now, for your dialer to function properly, meaning that you get the most out of your dialer, that you get more quality leads, which is important, Mark. Like, can't we all use more quality leads in our business?
Yep. Yes.
Yes. So in order to get those quality leads, it's not just X's and O's. It's not just pull a list and good luck and get your VA to call. It's not the case. Okay. To get the most out of your dialer, there are 3 parts. Okay. The first thing Mark was saying, Mark, what's the number one thing that is the reason why your dialer will win or lose?
Phone number. The phone number
Right.
that we're using.
Let's just say
That's
part
number one.
Number one is your phone numbers. Like, what do you mean, Mark? Is phone numbers as in your lead list, like the leads that you pull? Is that what you mean by phone numbers? What do you mean by phone numbers?
Well, when you say phone numbers, is the DID numbers that your dialer will be using to dial the numbers of the lead numbers in
Yeah,
your lead list. So that's the phone number.
right. It's your phone numbers that are within the dialer itself. It's
Yeah.
actually one of our biggest expenses for our marketing system every month because
That's
I
correct.
can't expect our dialer to work the way it's supposed to work, man. I can't expect it to work the way it's supposed to work if we don't have phone numbers, right?
That's correct.
If we don't have enough phone numbers. So, guys, I go back to this screen. You can see I pulled one list for Charlotte and I had 2 different groups. And the reason why I did this the way I did, like I should have probably got 10 phone numbers here, but the reason why I did this the way I did, because if one phone number, Mark, so let's go deeper into that. Why is this important? Why is the phone numbers important? Well, I'll tell you guys right now. If one phone number gets marked as spam, your avail time shoots up like crazy, so you're not going to get connected.
Yep.
You will not get connected to leads, right?
That's
So
correct.
the idea here is that we need to solve this problem because if we want our system to be running efficiently, to solve this problem of, oh my gosh, if one of our phone numbers gets marked as spam, then the whole system just basically doesn't work. Then I want to have a big group of numbers, right? So the solution here is you need call groups, right? You need call groups, meaning you need multiple phone numbers attached to a call group, right? So with what happens is, guys, whenever you attach a multiple phone numbers to a call group, you guys can see here, I have all these phone numbers. Here's a phone number. Here's a phone number. Like all these are our phone numbers that we purchased. They're attached to groups, right? So you see Charlotte Group 1, Charlotte Group 1, Charlotte Group 1. There's Group 2, Group 1, Group 1, Group 1. What happens is when I create a call group, okay, and I attach multiple phone numbers to a call group, I now have a group of, you guys saw an example of 12 phone numbers attached to one group. I can now take that group of phone numbers and attach it to my actual cold calling campaign. So the campaign that we actually call from, right, where we're actually dialing the leads, my call group, not just one phone number, not two, but multiple numbers are attached to a campaign. So it will at random select one of those phone numbers. Okay. So what happens is, and why this is very, very, very important, is that it will randomly select one of those numbers and it won't burn out a particular number. Like it won't just continually dial just one number. It will randomly select it. So you have a higher likelihood that any one phone number won't get marked as spam. Right, Mark?
Yep, that's correct.
So, Mark, what is the ideal setup for a call group? So let's
So,
just say, like, how many phone numbers do we need to have in a call group for a particular list size? What does that look like?
yeah, for example, if you have, because we have a ratio, Matt, to be honest with you, in order for
Mm-hmm.
us to get the exact number of phone numbers that we're going to use to one campaign, we have to check the ratio to be equal. Well, what is this kind of ratio that am I talking here? When the number 5,000 to 10,000 number of leads or lead
Mm-hmm.
count phone number in one campaign, this is equal to 10 to 15. Okay, 10 to 15
Yep.
phone
So 10,
numbers.
so 10,000 leads or less,
Hmm.
we need 15 phone numbers,
Yeah,
right?
more or less 15. 10 to 15 phone numbers.
Right.
That will do.
So and the real answer here is the more the better, right?
That's correct.
The more phone numbers, the better. But a lot of you guys like, do I really need 30 phone numbers? Like, how many do I really need for a particular campaign? Our rule of thumb is about 15 numbers per 10,000 leads,
For 10,000 leads.
right? So if I have a campaign of 20,000 leads, I'm probably going to need 30 phone numbers attached in one group attached to that one campaign, right? So 15 numbers attached, make this very clear, to one group. Okay. How many phone numbers should I buy? For 10,000 leads, you need about 15 phone numbers attached to one group, right? So that one group is attached to that one campaign that has all of those leads in there. Okay. The more numbers, the more numbers, the better. Do you agree with that,
Yeah.
Mark?
Yes, that's correct. I agree with that one. 100%.
Awesome. So this is part one here, guys. And I can't hammer this home enough because I have so many people, I have so many value clients over at Star Virtual who absolutely they're crushing it one week with their VA. And then one week they're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Right? All my leads, all of a sudden I'm not getting any leads anymore. Right? Is it likely that your VA just all of a sudden forgot all of their skills? Is it likely that the VA was just like, oh, I just everything that was working before, I totally forgot how to talk to a homeowner? No, that is not likely. The reason why your leads nosedive is because issues within your tool itself. So you may get early results from your cold calling, as you just set it up and you just start calling a campaign, right? But as you start going through that particular cold calling campaign, that particular list that you pulled, wherever you pulled it from, you may get early results, but next thing you know, one of your phone numbers get marked as spam, and then you're done. You're toast if you're not checking these phone numbers. So our systems folks over at Start Virtual, we do this for our clients. Our CSMs make sure that your VAs are in a position to win. Absolutely. but it is your job to make sure this is set up properly. So in order for you to have $1 million real estate investing business, this is the first, most simple, most basic concept that you got to have. Number one, you need leads. This should be done for you as soon as you possibly can. You outsource, you got a VA. Perfect. Now, how do you put your VA in a position to win? This is how you do it. Okay. This week, we're going to be breaking this down. There's 2 other parts to this system to making sure your dialer is functioning properly. But part 1 is what I wanted to spend about 15 minutes on here today is the phone numbers. Guys, if you already have a dialer and you haven't been checking this, go check your phone numbers. You do it here. If I wanted to go buy more caller IDs, let's just say, you guys see how all these say safe? Let's just say one of them said, robocaller or spam, right? All I would have to do is buy DID. I would choose the market. Okay, North Carolina is this particular one. The area code here is actually 704. I would search. Okay, no phone numbers in 704. So what's the other area code right there in Charlotte? It's 980. Let's see. And just like that, I have 7 more numbers that I could purchase. So I would come in here. I would buy these numbers. Again, more the better. I can right away assign it to a call group. So I can buy these 7 phone numbers and assign it directly to call group number 2. I can add it to a queue, right? If I had set up a queue, don't even worry about that right now. Don't worry about a user extension. But if you're buying phone numbers and you feel like one of your phone, like if I had checked this and it said robocaller for one of my phone numbers in Charlotte Group 1, I would go in and I can easily delete that phone number. Okay. I can check these off, add them back into call group 1. So they'll automatically be added. Order now. It'll purchase them and put them right in. Right. And at that point in time, I hit this little trash can on this phone number that was, if it was marked spam, I would hit the little trash can, delete number, and it would allow me to do that. Because you don't want to pay for numbers that are marked as robocallers. Okay. And this is probably the most important thing that I hound on all the time. And I talk to new investors and I talk to folks that are just trying with their VA and they're wondering why the VA isn't performing or why their system isn't working. The first thing I always ask is, how are your phone numbers? Do you have enough phone numbers for your campaigns? And they're like, what do you mean by phone numbers? Right? So good rule of thumb, as you guys go through, you got your dialer, multi-line. Part 1 is your phone numbers. If you get one phone number, if one phone number gets marked as spam, you will not get connected as leads. So your solution to this is you will get call groups. You will create call groups like you guys see. Call group 1, call group 2. You'll have multiple phone numbers attached to a call group. You guys can see 12 and 7. Okay. How many numbers should you buy? You should have, for 10,000 leads or less, you need 15 phone numbers attached to one group. These campaigns that I had for Charlotte was actually about 6,500 leads. So I did that number and I figured, right around 12 would be perfect. Okay. That's all I really needed. Okay. And again, the more numbers, the better. You guys got to think, if you have a bigger call group, like 40 numbers, it's going to randomly select one of the 40 numbers and not one particular number is going to get dialed over and over and over. You're probably not going to need to replace them that often. So that's how we do it. That is part 1. Guys, there will be tomorrow, we'll be discussing part number 2. And then on, what day is this? On Wednesday, we will discuss part number 3. There's 3 parts to making sure your dialer is set up properly and you're going to be getting leads. But the most important, I would probably say the most foundational thing before you can move on to part 2 and 3 is what we discussed here today. Would you agree with that, Mark?
Yes, 100%, Matt. Because without the phone numbers, even though you have a good list of leads, it won't work.
It won't matter, right? Ooh, I don't know.
It won't matter.
Yeah, you can do all these things, and if you don't, you spend a bunch of money on data, right? Spend a bunch of money on data, and if you don't have this set up properly, then it's just not going to work. So, guys, hopefully you take something from this video and you go and you check out your systems, just as simple as phone numbers and why this is important. Follow this math. Refer back to this video if you need to. It's going to be on YouTube. If you got any value from this today, as always, I'll ask you guys to head over to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We'll be live again tomorrow with Mark all week, actually, talking about systems, talking about tools, talking about the things you actually need to pay for, and we'll break it down. So once we finish this whole series, we'll look at like what the total cost would be. But I have that number in my mind, but I want you guys to tune in and make sure you follow us along. So again, if you got value, let's get a hell yeah from Mark. If you got value from today, go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, or just like this video. I appreciate you all from hanging out. Mark, give me some final thoughts here.
Yeah, my final thoughts about this video, guys. It is important for you to check your number in a daily basis so that your VA could provide leads every day.
Yes.
In order to convert leads, you have to have a good number.
100%. Gotta have good numbers to convert leads. Got to put your VAs in a position to win. And this is how you do it. Guys, thanks for coming and hanging out. I'm going to run over and watch Wholesale Hotline. You guys should too. We'll see you later. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming and hanging out, brother.
Thank you. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.